So you didn't want to continue Israel-Palestine conversation.
No, we're going to get into that
But
today.
you want to get
We're going to talk about a lot of it. We're going to talk about
right.
G-Dragon and what's going on in the Korean entertainment industry.
K-pop.
And also...
So we have Douglas Kim here, communist.
Our favorite communist.
Political analyst.
Am I the only communist you know?
Dude, I know
I know some, but they don't want to be revealed. So, but
Wait, really? Like Korean?
Yeah, they don't.
So you make it sound like it's like undercover gay or something.
Wait, like you know Koreans that support the DPRK.
That's what I'm saying. Communism is not getting a lot of traction. I know that you're a communist, and I think we have a common ground where we're both, you and I, and even Young, we are against the mainstream media.
Yep.
That is a common ground that we all have, and I understand the point where some communists have pointed it out to me that, do you know why the mainstream media hates communism so much? Because there's some truth in there. So that part, I do kind of understand what they're coming from.
Why do you think the CIA was founded? The CIA's primary directive.
Communism. Yeah,
exactly.
To destroy communism.
So if the CIA's primary enemy is communism, and the CIA represents the deep state.
But capitalism has been kicking communism's butt for decades.
All I know,
because the deep state controls
all
capitalism.
I know is if Russia landed on the moon first, okay, this whole world might be a different world right now, okay? And what ideology...
So do you believe...
No, I don't know.
America,
I don't know.
Who says
It doesn't matter.
Who says America even landed?
It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter...
Land on the moon.
It doesn't matter. The fact is that people think America landed first. So
that was the most important thing.
Is where we are now. So it
was
doesn't matter.
that produced and directed by Stanley Kubrick?
I don't know.
So you're saying that propaganda is a very strong tool.
It is.
You know what?
You know that.
Even if the narrative is false.
Yes.
You're saying
Yes. Propaganda. We're gonna get to all that stuff.
Hey, even
today.
in communism, don't you kind of think propaganda is important within communism too?
I think.
Of course.
It's hard.
It's marketing, isn't it? Marketing. Okay.
Yes.
Propaganda is a negative connotation word, but it's marketing.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
I mean, Lenin even talks about propaganda.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And that's one of the reasons why the conservatives and the Republicans get their ass kicked all the time by the Democrats. Because mainstream media aligns with the Democrats.
Okay.
You agree to that point, at least, right?
No, we agree about a lot of things. But
we do, yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, I think that mainstream media is, or politics in general in the United States, there are no parties. It's just theater. Like the Democrats, Republicans,
WWE.
Did you see the vote in the Palestine-Israel conflict? 97-0 in calling for a ceasefire against, right? So it's very clearly obvious that the federal government, all the stuff that they actually argue about, it's inconsequential. But they do agree on we need to fund imperialism, we need to fund our military,
we need to fund our war.
Exactly.
I think most importantly, they want the war to continue. Yep. They were angry that Trump didn't increase any wars. Between George W. Bush, he had 2 wars. It increased to 7 under Obama, and under Trump, it shrinked. And he said he wanted to get out of Afghanistan, and that pissed off a lot of deep staters. A lot of military industrial complex people. And that's why they kicked him out. And that's why many people do support Trump. And that's why he's getting a lot of traction again.
But
they want to jail him, though. I don't know whether he's going to go to jail. I think there is a possibility, though.
Yeah. I mean, he is he is very pro-Israel, at least in his comments.
Do you think he can be president without... If he's pro-Palestine, he has no chance to be president as a Republican Party candidate.
I keep saying this, but... There is a big part of deep state with Israel involvement, I think. They control the media.
So you're saying that Trump is only saying that to get elected and that he might not even believe it.
I think under Trump, there was at least no war happening like Russia, Ukraine, and Palestine, Israel, Hamas, Israel. Those things didn't happen. Iran was,
and he had the Abraham Accords as well.
He had the Abraham Accord. What I'm saying is, I think, okay, we're all Koreans, right? We care about North Korea.
Yes.
Do you care about North Korea?
Yes.
Do you care about the people who are suffering from poverty there and all that? So
I care about that, but I attribute that to the sanctions.
I know. I do. I don't. So who can release those, livelihoods in North Korea better? For me, I feel like it's slam dunk Donald Trump rather than Joe Biden or any other deep staters. That's what I'm. So we have.
But I guess
politics
overall,
is complicated. You can't have 100% aligned.
Overall,
candidate.
I just. Even if Trump gets elected again, I'm, while I am somewhat of a fan of Trump, I question the amount of impact he will be able to have against American imperialism, especially if we are already embroiled in conflict with the Arab world.
Hey, let's get into this. Let's get into this, the Israel thing, because I mean that's originally why we came for. By the way, I dressed like this for you because I wanted to look like a Cuban mafia communist gangster. So
Is that what they look like?
I don't know. In movies, sometimes they look like this. I think Can't you?
I think you look more like the Al Pacino character.
You need a cigar to complete the.
What was that? Scarface?
You want to play rough?
Wait, wasn't he Colombian or was he?
I don't know. I didn't
Was he
watch that
Cuban?
movie. So
Dude, we're gonna get so much yoke on the forum. Someone from Cuba or something watches. They're like,
Wait,
But
Al
anyhow,
Pacino
But
is.
yeah, I do think Trump is kind of appeasing. Like to answer your question, I think he's doing it for the votes too.
you like
Yeah.
Trump too. I mean, what are the choices? Biden or Trump? Trump,
Trump,
okay?
of
All right,
course.
there.
If it was
All right,
Biden
there.
and Trump, I'd vote for Trump.
There you go.
But
That's what it's gonna be.
do you agree that Trump will have some kind of business deal or whatever deal with Kim Jong Un if he has a second term? I do believe that is going to happen.
I don't think so.
I think
I think he's going to do it.
I don't think so.
I
It's,
think he
it's hard to
does.
say what he's gonna do.
No, I don't think. You see, because
Because the deep staters will block it?
No, because the alliance is already built between China so deep with North Korea and also Russia.
Is it that deep?
there will
I don't
be?
think it's that deep between
I think
North
it's
and
deep.
China.
Dude, you know what they're trading between Russia and North Korea right now? They're trading weapons.
I know. Weapons, they have to. Of
Dude.
course, if you see it militarily, yeah, they have an alliance.
Yeah,
Putin might have had the golden
else,
shower too.
How else is DPRK gonna make money?
That's true.
What else did they have
That's
to
the only
export?
way to make money. But what I'm saying is, under Trump, he had a good rapport with Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong Un. You have to individually
There's no
have some
such
good
thing as good
relationship.
rapport with Kim
no,
Jong-un.
no. But under Biden, you have these missiles flying,
Yeah.
and Kim Jong Un himself. I think he kind of endorse Trump pretty much. He said he would rather have. I mean,
He
pretty
did
much.
say
He sounded like that. Yeah, that
he
was
said
endorsing
Joe
Trump.
Biden is a rabid dog that needs to be beat to death in
Yes.
2019.
You hear that rabid dog, the rabid dog. Feed him to the rabid dogs.
I don't know how true
And
that
sea
is.
of
I don't know
fire.
how accurate that report is, but
fire.
yes,
So
it does seem that Kim Jong Un is more of a fan of Trump than Biden.
Without a doubt.
And I think
without a doubt.
most
they have
Chinese
a friendship.
people actually in China are more of a fan of Donald Trump.
That's what I think too. There's
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of Chinese
My
people
neighbor.
who supports Trump.
My neighbor's Chinese,
Mm-hmm.
and she saw these Trump flags hanging on my garage wall.
And what did she
she
say?
came in and she goes, Joe Biden is bad president.
But I'm talking about not Chinese Americans, because a lot of Chinese Americans are against China in general. I'm talking about Chinese people in China.
You're talking
Yeah.
about mainland China communist people
Yeah.
who supports Trump. There
yeah.
are. I hear
Yeah.
a lot, and they think it's much better than Biden or the deep staters because
Okay.
deep staters are going against China too, right?
Yeah.
You agree, right? So
Well, the deep state just wants total control over
the entire world.
yeah, like the Freemasons and stuff.
But
like
why?
that.
Okay, you can talk about Freemason, but why everybody from pro-Palestine? I talked with a lot of people, my church members, and a lot of people. They all seem to not. They don't want to talk about, for instance, you don't want to talk about the Rothschilds or the ones who.
I mean,
formed-
I just
the
don't-
bankers.
You're gonna get shot.
somehow
No,
the Federal Reserve. They don't want to touch it. They don't want to talk about it.
Listen, we're stepping into Jewish territory right now.
So yeah.
Mel Gibson, anyone that's involved and said anything about the Jews in a bad way,
That's
it
what-
doesn't work out well, dude.
So when
Shh.
Okay, when I talk about a certain name, I didn't talk about it in a bashing tone. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it in a matter of fact.
that's
it's a
that's how I
historical
feel
fact.
about
the Balfour Declaration.
Instead of Rothschild, I more think that's associated with George Soros. Like when you would criticize George Soros, everyone's like, "Oh, the anti-Semitism comes out." Whatever.
That's true. 'Cause
Which
that's
is
coming
funny
from the
too.
mainstream.
He's Jewish, right?
He's Jewish.
He's Jewish.
But he's Jewish who's against Israel.
Yeah, he is actually.
Or is he?
Could be a good point. I think he's playing. I think he's playing a
funds a
political role.
lot of organizations that are pro-Palestine. So yes, it could be controlled opposition for some other nefarious thing. I think George Soros's main thing is anti-China.
Anti-China.
Yeah.
You're right. Exactly right. But some people don't know that. George Soros is probably the most prominent anti-China guy.
Yes.
And that's one of the
And
reasons.
probably one of the biggest proponents of the IMF crisis that killed
Yeah.
millions of Asian people.
Uh-huh. And if you agreed, I agree with
Yeah,
you.
in
You know?
Southeast Asia. Yeah.
And also South Korea too.
Yeah.
And I think many people think Trump is anti-China. Trump actually said, the Chinese people, they're much smarter than America. They're doing the business the right way.
He knows
they're
what's
taking
up.
advantage
Yeah.
of us.
They are
He does
smart.
say that. So I think he shows a certain respect. He said Xi Jinping is, killing it. He said that he was
like
killing
bred
it.
for that, dude, wasn't he?
He's on the international stage. Xi Jinping is killing it, and
Yeah.
he even gave props to Kim Jong-un. You know, he's killing it in leadership. He got rid of his uncle. You know, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but he definitely has leadership and charisma. So
Sure.
he gives those political points. So it's
as,
not like
as
he's-
well as Putin as well.
So did he
Exactly,
feed him
yeah.
to the dogs?
No,
Did
I think
who
that's a
feed
good
what to the
plan. I think
dogs?
what he's doing is
Kim
good.
Jong-un feed Chang Song-taek to the dogs.
I don't believe anything that comes out of Radio Free Asia unless I've seen it with my own eyes. The same thing with like beheaded babies, right?
You know, let's talk about that because
He's really angry about that.
no, I
yeah.
am. I
no,
am.
but
look,
if you're angry about beheaded babies, how come you're not angry about them saying like they used a machine gun to gun down whatever?
No,
they
no, no,
used
no,
like
no.
they just fed them to the dogs in public.
I am
in the
as well. I am as well. You know, I am. Listen, I'm all for. I honestly think that war is necessary for peace. Okay, but I don't think civilian lives, women and children,
Sure.
should ever be involved. And I think it's.
Or if they are, there should be discretion, right? I think I
Yes,
read somewhere
yes.
that
Discretion,
out of the
yeah.
10,000
So that's what I've been
deaths-
saying. I've been more on the side of innocent Palestinian lives. But for some reason, I see the media and they're saying we have to get all of Hamas, and they're focusing on Hamas, right?
Right.
Not
At the
anymore,
same
though,
time,
right?
there's so
Okay.
many people, so many Palestinians that are dying right now, and I'm concerned about that. I understand. I understand the pain. I understand the fury, and I understand the anger, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that when you see when the government can't even confirm the beheaded baby's statement, which played a big factor in fueling this anger,
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know if I could believe that. I don't know
Right.
if I could put 100% of my faith in what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But-
But at the
yeah.
same time, many innocent lives are still dying.
But does
Yes.
United States have the moral high ground? Look at the way they bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
That's
did we
a
care
total-
about the
that's a
children
total different
and the
argument. I
women?
understand.
or the
though, you know?
30,000 Korean slaves.
I mean, no. What
in
I'm
those
saying
cities.
is, it's.
So-
war.
so-
I mean,
so-
Israel
so-
is saying this is war.
So
right?
yeah, so it's
yeah.
war. So let's kill them. And you know what? Palestinian lives, I'm sorry, but you're gonna die. There's nothing you can do
For
about
me
it.
as an American, I'm just kind of like, you know what? If Israel wants to do that shit, whatever, right? But let them fucking do it on their dime. I don't want my money being spent to murder children or whatever. Like, if you want to try that stuff and try to get away with it and make every single Arab state want to destroy you, go ahead, do that. But don't use my money. You know, we spend $3.8 billion a year funding Israel. We've given them over $250 billion since our relationship with them in 1967. And they blew up one of our Navy ships, the USS Liberty, in 1967. You guys know about that?
I mean, but it's
That's
not
fake news,
But
though.
it's not just Israel. America
kidding.
gives a whole bunch of money to Egypt every year, $2 billion.
but I just wanna-
to
I just wanna
keep
say that-
Middle East, you know,
but I
because
just wanna
Egypt
say
doesn't
that
like
what-
Israel either.
Right,
No,
but
I
like
want to
even
make sure
even
everyone knows. Wait, hold on, because you know, as I say this, I want to make sure that everyone knows that you know what Hamas did is really off the charts. That's something that was totally surprising. And I understand that it's been going on for decades and centuries. You know, this fight that's been going on.
But we had Rabbi Cooper, who's a Jew, you know, here yesterday, and what he told us was he doesn't want a carpet bombing happening, right, in Gaza Strip.
Yeah,
you
I don't
know?
think
So it's
anyone-
like
I don't think anyone,
Yeah, so
like,
it's
rational wants
They
that.
want a surgical attack against Hamas, but that's extremely difficult. What he was talking about was Hamas was using these ambulances and hospitals as a place to where they hide, you know, and attack
That's just like-
suddenly. So you know,
that's-
I mean, when that's the narrative out there that's going on right now. So
Yeah, I
it's
don't really
hard to
believe
fight
that
against it, you know.
so I
because
think
the mainstream
I,
is so loud.
They even said we've confirmed 60 Hamas kills, and there are 10,000. You're saying that you have a kill rate of 99.5% civilians, and you think that's like a good.
So-
That's what I'm
Okay.
worried about. No one's reporting
Okay.
that, and everyone's like looking at it as if this is okay. The UN is saying something about it. I don't trust the UN either, but you know, it's like at least they're saying something about it.
You know what's-
Erdogan
you know
is
what's
something about
interesting?
it, huh?
In the past 75 years, who do you think what political faction do you think has been on the right side of this debate the entire time?
Israel,
None.
Palestine.
The communists.
The communists isn't communist China supporting Palestine
Yeah,
over Israel?
I mean,
Yeah.
they are.
That's what I mean. Like
They actually support Hamas. I mean, because
They do.
North Korea, the parasailing stuff, how they came in
Paragliding,
paragliding, right? That's like a North Korean technique, and it was like
Is that confirmed from North Korea?
That's what they're looking at, but you can't confirm that kind of stuff. Can you confirm that there was Irene?
So do you
paragliding
think-
is not like something invented.
That
by
is
the-
No,
true.
but
That is
come on,
true.
dude. When
So-
you look at some and the tunnels,
Like,
North Korea
I-
is well known for tunnels too.
Okay, how about Hamas? Do you think Hamas wouldn't have been able to attack Israel without the help of Hezbollah and Iranian government? Honest answer. I think they were definitely helping.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know about the Iranian government. I know, but Hezbollah probably. I mean, they're all kind of like interlinked, and they have the same goal, like the destruction of Israel.
Of Israel. Is that
Lebanon
that-
too,
that's what-
and I think Turkey doesn't like
So you
Israel.
do see that there is a goal of destruction of Israel.
Destruction of Israel, but that I think like people equate that to total wiping out Jews off the face of the earth, which is like
Hamas wants that.
Which is I don't believe that. I think in their
No, I think the
recent
Hamas wants
charter-
it.
You don't
in
think
their
Hamas?
recent
I-
charter
I
in
think there's
27
other
in
Muslims-
2017, the Muslim charter of
There's other
Hamas,
Arab nations that want that too, I
declare that like it's not anti-Jew, it's about anti-Zionism, it's about anti-Israel.
Yeah, but I also think that Israel feels the same way in certain terms that they won't say because of the history or whatever. They would rather they would rather not have some other factions over there, like Hamas, for example.
Right. So on the other side, Israel, like everyone's assuming that Israel is this good actor, but like
I'm not.
No.
Israel is
Okay, so
is
I don't
also
think Israel is
grabbing
a good actor,
It's also
okay?
But
trying
I
to
think
grab
they do have a lot of
territory.
support of this
like
Christian community,
beyond
Christian
just
and Catholic community,
beyond
because
just
of the
Gaza and
biblical
the West
history.
Bank. There's still like the fear that once they take over the West Bank and once they take over Gaza, they're just going to keep expanding to Syria and all these
I'm
other
saying
places.
That, okay, so Israel, I don't think Israel is ever going to disappear. But what I'm saying is, when I say I'm saying I don't think Israel is always doing good things all the time. No,
But Israel
I think
also
they're
gave back the land to Egypt too.
They did. You're right. They did.
Yeah, but that was more kind
And
of
then
like to
Israel-
negotiate a peace.
Oh, come on.
peace
Well, I mean,
deal.
that's a big
They
move.
could. I think Israel could have took over.
They're the ones
Yeah.
that attacked first, right?
No, but if you like keep your southern flank protected, you're like, that's a strategic.
why do you think?
I think that's a big move to give
Yeah,
back
that's-
like a
that's
big,
what-
huge
that's
chunk
what I
of
think.
land
Strategic
back,
move. It's a strategic move, sure.
And that's a good move, though, to keep
No,
peace with all. You're
yeah,
surrounded by
exactly,
Arab
'cause
countries.
you can't hold that land. So it's like when Britain gave up India as a colony. It wasn't out of goodwill. It was more that they didn't have the resources to maintain it anymore.
We should just blame England.
Yeah, actually, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
for this.
it started from Great
everywhere
Britain.
they've gone.
because
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know this, but in World War I, right, when they were fighting the Ottoman Turks in that region, they promised the Arab people, "You will have
They
this
did,
land
yes,
if
yeah.
you fight for it with us."
yeah,
And then they went around in 1917 to the Jews and signed the Balfour Declaration. So they're the ones that doing these double speak things. And then like once the 1948
but it's not the government. You're talking about the government. The Balfour. Who did Balfour send the letter to?
Lord
saying-
Rothschild.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's not even.
Dun, dun,
People say, "Oh, Great Britain." Really, the entire country of the Great Britain was supportive of this? No, it's not. It's specific bankers. The bankers, and you know what I
Right.
think? I think America
the ruling
is controlled
class,
by
sure.
bankers.
The
too. You
ruling
don't think
class,
America's- yeah.
the bourgeoisie, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, sure.
who is the Federal Reserve?
I mean, who is the Federal Reserve?
Who controls Federal Reserve?
I think it's king and queen money.
I think it's, you know what I think.
Get
You're
to the
thinking
king and
Bank
queen.
of Bank
So,
of
okay.
I think in secret, the British actually rules over America in a big chunk of way.
It's okay. So
Which is
many,
very controversial.
many people have been saying that,
communists
that
actually
Great Britain
believe-
is actually still controlling
Some
America.
I
communists
will
because of the
never see
banking
you guys
system.
again.
Some communists.
Can we
actually
talk
believe
about
that.
this though? I thought you were scared about talking about this.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, have you heard about the rumors that MI6 and the OSS might have taken out FDR by the end of World
How
War
about
II?
OPP?
That I didn't hear.
So the MI6
You
is
mean OPP?
is the,
You know me.
The OSS is the precursor to the CIA for America, and MI6 is the English intelligence agency.
Do you
there were-
believe that? You do
I
believe
mean,
Great
I think
Britain is
it's-
actually secretly controlling America? I'm not talking about Great Britain. I'm talking about the bankers.
I think
Are
it's
they
possible.
controlling America?
I think they would be working with. They might be working in concert with the CIA in doing so.
and there could be a sizable debt through some intermediary bank or financial system that America owes
I think
to
when we talk about
British?
Israel,
Wait. What's
no,
the question?
I think when we talk about Israel, when we get to the bottom of it, I think we're talking about bankers. I think that's what it. To me, it's always going there. It's about if we follow the
It's
money.
about the money.
Yeah, it's about the money.
I should have been a banker.
It's about the money.
Even
and
this,
many people,
even this conflict, like people don't know this, but there's natural gas off the coasts of Gaza that are like Israel's trying to drill it, and like they're like Palestinians are kind of like what the hell, whatever, because this is in that territory. There's also like trade routes that Netanyahu is trying to plan through Saudi Arabia or whatever, through like creating another.
Yeah,
Silk
they want to
Road.
be friends.
So they're trying to like push the Gazans out for that land. They need that land for to.
Is this a communist conspiracy theory or no?
No, this is kind of like they've already said this out loud.
So I understand why Jews.
I wish the rabbi was here.
I understand why many Jews or even Christians or non-Christians, they don't want to talk about. Once you talk about Rothschild, then you have to go to the money. And they don't want things related. They don't want people to connect Israel with the banking money. They really do not.
How can you not, though?
And even Federal Reserve, if you ask people on the street, I think 100 out of 100 people would say they're a government entity. When we know that it's a private bank, right? Privately owned bank.
And Federal Reserve is a private bank?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I
is.
didn't.
So yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. That's why we're talking about, isn't Great Britain secretly controlling America?
Because
It
America
could be.
has
Federal
to get a sizable,
Reserve is not-
to start their banking system.
Federal
right?
Reserve is not a government entity. It has the word federal there, but it's not. Nothing about it is federal.
It's not.
It's privately
Fort Knox
owned.
has
Goldman
nothing to do
Sachs
with it.
owns it.
So what's the
Goldman Sachs owns
function?
it?
Goldman Sachs and a lot of bankers. Morgan Stanley has some percentage of it. So we're printing
what is
this
the-
money,
what is-
and when
what
we,
is the government
when we pay
control
back
over
the
it?
interest, the bankers get the interest.
They know
What?
that. Every year they take a loan.
So the conspiracy theory we're talking about is many people do, like people like Alex Jones and people that have been talking about is, who we actually own Federal Reserve? It's the family members that, you guys don't
Like
want to talk
Rothschild.
about. Yeah, something like that,
But there are also bankers that aren't Jewish too. It's not like
I know.
It's
It's
like,
not just him. It's not just him. So why do America support 100 out of 100 times Israel? There's a reason for that. Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, a lot of it is because of.
Okay, he gets really-
You're talking about the deep state. Like, why does 100% of the
This is
deep
getting too
state
dangerous, dude. I think we have to stop
support
right now.
Israel?
All right, let's
It's
stop it.
scaring the crap out of me right now. All right, you guys.
Even Jews don't want to talk about it. But I'm
Don't
just
talk
saying,
about it.
just it's history. We're talking about history and facts.
Okay, that's enough.
know?
That's enough.
But I guess like.
Rockefellers, okay, you don't want to talk about
No, I think
let's
you stepped
leave
on a lot of toes
Rockefeller.
already. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All this, I know this information is out there, but
Okay, go ahead, though.
Like I don't know. I kind of skew towards not saying blanket statements like the Jews control the money, Jews control Hollywood, or whatever. Like while it is true that a majority of banking or whatever, I don't even know. I don't
Is it
even
just
know.
is it
saying
just
the
a
same
banking
thing in
how about
different
the
contexts,
entertainment industry? You were in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
What I believe is probably they control. Okay, this is not like I'm not for anti-Semitism. I'm pro-Semite, but
Yeah.
Yes,
if you look
me
at the
too.
people up there, it's like Rupert Murdoch.
I am
Fox
with the people.
News, I mean, he's Jew. He's a Jew.
Wait,
and-
Rupert Murdoch is Jewish?
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh man, come on. He's Jew.
Australian.
He's a Jew. Yeah, he's Jewish.
No, he isn't. Is he? I'm gonna look that up.
Rupert Murdoch.
Hey,
is
you guys
Jewish.
look it up right now. I
And
don't
if
want all
you-
these false facts
former
going out.
Disney.
So
No, it's real.
let me.
I confirm it. I can confirm it to you. And also, Michael Eisner,
Google has to
former Disney CEO, he was also a Jew. And many people on TV, like Barbara Walters, I believe she's a Jew. I heard that Marilyn Monroe, she's Jew. And
But I feel like
I mean, I'm just throwing names out there.
Wait. It says Rupert Murdoch's deeply hidden Jewish roots.
He is Jewish. Come on, Wikipedia him. He's a Jew.
No, but it says deeply hidden.
So you know what? As a
Jewish
Christian,
roots.
I believe that. Yeah, as a Christian, I believe they're the chosen people because Jesus came out. Jesus Christ came out of the Jewish heritage. Okay, so that's in that aspect. I believe they are the chosen people. And when I look at the world. And that one of the reasons I became a Christian is if I look at the world, man, Jews control here and there everywhere. I'm not saying this as in a negative connotation. I'm just saying it as a matter of fact.
You're saying that you want to be a Jew. I wish I was a Jew.
I'm not saying that, man. I'm just saying. I know that you want to.
I wouldn't be mine.
Okay, but I don't. I'm a Gentile, But what I'm saying is,
I can't see.
I think the world is becoming. I mean, the biblical prophecy is being fulfilled one by one. Israel coming back in 1948. Nobody knew. In the world's history, there was no country that disappeared and came back, and Israel did that twice. Okay, so I think there's a lot of biblical. Because I believe God uses, deep staters, evil people too.
Of course.
That's what I believe.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan.
Yes.
You're right. It's all part of the plan. But
so repent.
Even Steven Spielberg, he's Jewish. And
yes, Hollywood is mostly
Jeffrey
Jewish.
Katzenberg,
Yes.
he's Jewish. Just DreamWorks
Yes,
people. Look at the top people are all Jews.
Yeah, that's not a surprise. I mean, the starts of Hollywood.
Zuckerberg is Jewish.
Zuckerberg is Jewish.
He's
You're
not
right.
in Hollywood.
Oh, your friend. Your friend.
Hey,
Yes,
half of Silicon Valley is Jewish, right?
What is the point of that, though?
I'm just saying.
No.
But I'm not going to connect all Jewish people
No.
to
You're
one
saying
board.
why is America?
No, but I'm just saying they're successful.
Why is America so
Very
pro-Israel?
successful.
And look at everybody. They're all
The reason
Jews,
is because
right?
of American imperialism.
They control the media
They
too,
want
right?
that during the Cold War, during 1967, during the Six-Day War, they were in the middle of a huge conflict with Vietnam, and the political tenor at the time needed they needed to destabilize the communist movement. The biggest reason I think of Americans' involvement in the Middle East with Israel is they saw Israel as their buffer for a foothold into the Middle East, both to as for their resources and oil, but also to prevent them from unifying as one Arab bloc to fight against American imperialism. Because once you have that bloc, right, you can connect China now to Africa, because now they're all connected and you have this huge socialist bloc that's working together. But if you cut that off, you're cutting off the connection to China and Africa, and you're splitting up the Arab states. So that's kind of what I think America's main interest in Israel, or Israel is in that region. It is to continue their divide and conquer strategy in American imperialism in taking over the world.
I love that word, American imperialism. I just keep thinking of Darth Vader,
Actually,
America is like Darth Vader.
So do you think
It's
America
funny
is an
because-
emperor? I mean, the
it's funny.
Palpatine.
I thought America
but you
was
know what?
Luke Skywalker.
That's what I thought.
But right now, I think America is Darth Vader.
You know what though?
It is.
George Lucas said that Star Wars is based on the Vietnam War.
Oh, he did say that.
And you can guess who America
say
is.
that.
I think America.
So Luke Skywalker was actually the Viet Congs, right? The
Yes.
Vietnam, right? Yeah, Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker was a Viet Cong. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And do you remember when?
Because it was released in 77,
yes,
which is 2
it
years
was.
after
He
the fall of
himself
Saigon.
said that, because I know about George Lucas.
Yeah.
And in Revenge of the Sith episode 3, remember when Anakin Skywalker said to Obi-Wan, "You're either with me or against me." Remember that line? That was George W. Bush when he gave a State of the Union speech. He was criticizing that too. George W. Bush said that Iran, Iraq, North Korea, Iran, Iraq, North Korea, there are acts of evil, and it was right after 9/11.
I
He
thought
said,
you were saying
you're
that-
either with us or against us. You remember that speech? Yeah. So Lucas was criticizing American government again.
That's kind of what what's his Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu. That's what he said. That's what he said too. You're either with us or against us.
That's what he said.
Type of thing. It
Netanyahu
was similar.
is evil incarnate.
He's scary. He's scary, dude.
He is just.
So what do you think it's going to be the end game? I know what you wish.
World War
III.
III.
But what do you think it's going to be the end game here?
I think either there will be a ceasefire and people will figure things out and things will go on as they have been for the past 75 years. Just
Again?
Or it'll spread out into
World War III.
World War III.
That's a possibility, right?
See? That's how I see it too.
I see it as a 50-50 chance at this point. WW3.
Right now, someone was talking about that carrier, the ship, that's out there in the Mediterranean, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of making it difficult for other factions to join in the fight, through the water, right? So it's cutting off one end. But, what happens when some death occurs because of that, and then you have a whole bunch of angry people in the Arab nations that start turning against the U.S. as well, and becomes an all-out kind of a religious crusade type of war to wipe out all forms of Christianity and any kind of other thing that's related to the Bible.
That is Book of Revelation you're talking about.
Dude,
Hey,
Well, if you're
Doug,
talking about
you're
the religious,
familiar with Book of Revelation, right? You
Yes.
never connect this, what's going on in the world?
I mean,
Can you connect this
people
over
thought
there?
that was happening during the 6-Day War in '67.
That's
so
true.
I
True.
give kind of like the
Grain of salt
predictions,
when you-
whatever. Yeah,
okay.
exactly. And if you've read the Bible yourself as well, they say no one knows the time.
No one knows
of
the time. You're
except
right.
for the Father,
Exactly.
not even the Son.
Not even Jesus. Yeah,
Exactly. So,
he remembers his scripture.
if we're going to that territory, I've read my Bible as well.
Yeah, okay, got it. I understand.
But also, the Jewish kind of like, like how American Christians are like, oh, we have to support Israel because Israel is the Jews and whatever.
You see that a lot.
Apple of God's
Yeah, you
eye,
see that
right?
a lot.
Apple of the
When
eye.
you see
Apple
kind
of
of
the eye.
blind support in a way, okay? But
when
I
you see the
understand.
basis, the religious basis, a lot of it is based on the Talmud.
Talmud, right?
which was written in or compiled in 400 AD or 500 AD. And you know who most of those people who did those rabbis who were? Those were the Pharisees of Jesus'
So they
time.
were the Jews that
Those were the Jews that
But I think,
despised Jesus.
but I would say this: a lot of conservatives have been attacking Israel too.
Really? Like who?
Even Infowars.
No.
Oh, you don't know? Infowars is right
but
wing.
Infowars
no.
is out there.
They're out there,
But
though.
if you're talking about like mainstream conservatives, they're all like, we need to kill these Arabs.
That's what I'm scared
because
of.
I think the
That's what scares me.
They're still in 9/11 kind of like land, where whatever.
Okay,
about
so many
Iraq.
Christians believe that in the Bible, the
So am
scripture,
I.
it says that if you bless Israel, you bless, you get blessed, and Israel is God's apple of His eye, and those
is
I
just
think
like-
those
I think that's just
scriptures
like
kind of,
propaganda.
I think that's.
but that's in the Bible. So I
But
think many
I don't
people.
think I
go
don't
ahead.
think we have to sit there and watch innocent lives killed.
Sure, I mean
to-
nobody
to
wants this to
support
happen.
that. I
yeah.
support that as a Christian. I support that as well. But right now it's just this nonchalant way of just walking over everything because Hamas did this.
Okay, so
because Hamas did
but,
that.
okay,
they
so
can just kill everyone.
Yeah,
That's not the
Young,
way.
when Rabbi Cooper was here, what
Yeah.
he what he said was this: that the
Was he a Zionist or?
Well, I bet he is, but what he said was Palestinians are held hostage by Hamas. That not everybody, because he said he has friends who's Palestinians, and not every Palestinians are like Hamas. So he said there should be a clear, line between the regular folks and Hamas. So what he was saying is he regrets that Israel took the pedal off, the accelerator in 2005. That's when Hamas really grew and took over the legislature and all that. And he said Israel made a big mistake there. That was what he said. So
I don't know. I think that Israel just made a big mistake by trying to set foot in that land in the first place.
what do you mean by that? In 1948?
Yeah. I think
I told you, didn't Jews make a deal?
see,
so we
so
go
no,
back,
okay,
merry
so-
go
no,
round.
no,
what
no,
I'm
no,
saying
no.
is like even whatever deal you make or whatever, a state is sustained through either, like diplomacy or military power. And everyone knew, like once they set foot there, they were going to need military aid because they were going to be attacked for a long time.
Of course.
And obviously,
till today.
And obviously, judging from the fact that in such a short time your military grew to a might to fight off all of the surrounding Arab nations, obviously you got some money coming in from somewhere.
So I figured out
us.
what
We're paying them.
I figured out.
We pay for their health care.
So
Did you know that?
Douglas-
That's what I heard recently.
Yeah.
We pay for Israeli health care.
Why?
We pay for, there's
America
other
paid?
stuff.
I don't know about
America
that. I don't know
pays
about
for
that.
America pays for their health care. And
What about my health care? America doesn't pay for my health care.
Exactly.
No, you can't because we have to take care of the illegal immigrants here first, and then you can it'll go. You can get trickled down.
But I pay taxes.
But
Yeah,
we have illegal immigrants
that's
to take care of.
Palestinian children. Okay.
So I understand who Douglas Kim is right now. You are an idealist. That's why you
No,
can become
I'm
a
a
communist.
communist.
Yeah, but you are an idealist. I think you kind of think the reality should fit the ideal. I'm a person who
I think that-
understands that ideal can never become reality.
I think that that's not what I believe. I believe that people need to be held accountable for the history.
So who's gonna account? Who's gonna hold
Nobody.
them accountable?
Nobody.
Who is gonna hold them accountable? Who's gonna
Nobody.
hold the deep state accountable?
Nobody.
If deep state is so powerful,
Nobody.
But you're seeing the cracks right now. You're seeing the cracks in American
Is
imperialism.
deep state losing power?
Because you know why? Do you know why Hamas's attack was so effective? Because everyone was looking at Ukraine, Russia at the time. All our money was going to Ukraine and Russia.
That's true.
And so Hamas was probably thinking this is the greatest time to try to attack because everyone's defenses are going to be down. We're going to whatever, blah, blah, blah. There might be some false flag stuff that going on there on Israel's side because I've heard that it took IDF 6 hours to respond. The Iron Dome just malfunctioned in 15 different spots.
I don't think so. And
it's just kind of like, was this a false flag so that they can destroy all of Gaza?
Mossad, everybody overrated Mossad.
I thought that too, that it was a false flag operation that was set up just like 9/11, to create this kind of an atmosphere. But
in any case, the assault was the most successful Hamas attack ever, right? Or the Palestinian kind of assault in past 75 years, right? And so I think people around the world, people like Hamas, they've already decided that that the conditions that they are being under Israel's dominion is worth trying to lose your life over trying to change things. And I think more around the world, you're seeing in Russia as well, the Russian army determined to, stop this Ukrainian Nazi stuff. You're seeing people just sick of American imperialism, American deep state stuff all around the world.
And I heard that Russia is actually winning. I heard that the war is actually
Russia's winning kicking a long time ago.
And Ukraine is already
there was a video where
500,000 people died now. I mean, it's for
Zelensky,
what?
We were saying this 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I think we were
but the mainstream
about this,
kept saying, "Oh, Ukraine is winning."
Exactly.
Putin is. We passed him on.
You know what happened during 1917 when the Spanish flu came out?
Yeah.
The reason it's called the Spanish flu is because Spain reported on it. Even though it was all over Europe and all over America. It started in America, I think. But Spain was reporting on it. Why? Because Spain was a neutral country during World War I and was the only neutral country. Because everyone else, they didn't want to talk about the Spanish flu going around or a pandemic because there was a war that they needed to win. They couldn't have bad news in the middle of a war. So that's the same thing that's going on. People during a war, the side will make it seem like we're winning even though we're not, to keep morale up. Because once you're in a losing war, that's when people are like, what the hell are we even doing here? People ask more questions. But if we're winning it, it's oh, we're winning it. Well, it's going to be over. Who cares?
Yeah.
And the same thing with Vietnam, right? That's why the protests were so effective because they weren't.
It was
winning.
effective.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. So I think Putin won. I think he has another election and he's going to run again. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I think he's going to win again. So anyway,
he is getting up there in age though, 71, 72.
Yeah, but he said he's going to run again. So
better than Biden.
Yeah, better.
Well, yeah,
better than Biden. You're right.
Anyway,
so we can conclude this Israel-Hamas situation that we can't solve it. All three of us cannot solve it, right?
No, it's
us three.
Yeah,
cannot.
it's like Japan and Korea or Korea and North Korea. It's always like that.
All right, okay, so let's.
It would
not
be
exactly,
solved.
but
All of those
there's always a
conflicts
story.
would be solved if America if just wiped
never
off.
involved in the first place.
Well, if
but
the
that
UN
I don't
never
know. That I don't
Korea,
know. How,
I think
how
if
can
the
you
UN
be,
never split Korea,
how can you be so sure of hypothetical situations? We do that with our own past, personal past. Oh, if this didn't happen, we could have been better. How do you know that for sure?
I don't know if it'd be quote unquote better, but there wouldn't be the conflict that exists today.
Well, okay, there's fact in that, meaning that it would either be a communist country or a democratic country, all united. So
it's
one
not
or the
a
other.
democratic country.
Yeah,
though.
what I'm saying
is,
is,
it's kind of an Asian.
It's a Korea.
You don't think South Korea is democratic?
South Korea is a vassal state that is controlled by the United States,
but it's more democratic than the U.S.
Whoever controls your military controls your.
Okay, I would say that up until probably the early '90s, because that's where
still today.
No, I'm talking about when I'm saying this.
They still have to pay America $5 billion for their military,
and you still get health care over there. So okay,
yeah, you get health care over there. Did you know that? Do you know a lot of Koreans here go to South Korea to get medical
way
treatment?
better than America.
to get plastic surgery.
No,
whatever, dude.
Even like regular
checkups.
They want to do their checkups in Korea, not here.
Even like Arab sheiks, they fly to Korea.
Man, I'm telling you,
Wait,
man.
can I go?
Yes,
I'm
yes.
an American
Yeah, but-
citizen, though.
Yes,
but
just don't
but-
say you're a communist when you're walking in there.
Just don't say that your nickname is Kim Il-sung.
Yeah,
you know?
don't do that.
If you
Don't
say
do that
that,
on
you know,
Kim
if
Il-sung
you
now.
fly
Kim
around,
Il-sung.
Okay.
Kim
Just don't.
Why did you level down to 6 steps down?
Okay.
You know, it used
Because
to be Kim Il-sung,
my
right?
dad said it rhymes with Kim Il Sung, so it's cooler.
God.
So, but
And it's chill.
I would say
Like I'm the chill version.
I would say freedom of speech wise. In Korea, you can say pretty much anything. I know that in North Korea and China, you can, and I think that's
Except about like pro
First of
North
all,
stuff.
no,
You just
first
can't.
of all-
That's the one thing
You are
can't-
probably you are
That's
the
the one
only
thing you
person.
can't mess with over
yourself
there.
just now
What?
because like you were saying if don't say anything about Kim Il Sung going whatever blah blah, and then you're like, oh, we have such free speech in South Korea.
But except about that.
Do you know what they did before the 1990s? If you spoke about North Korea or Marxism, they threw you in jail. They killed you.
You know what they did in North Korea? If you
weren't
watch
heard
the
of
Korean
again.
drama?
You were not heard of again.
If you saw a Korean drama back in North Korea, they would.
Okay,
First
then-
of all, that's
then-
not even confirmed.
then wh-
this stuff is
then
confirmed.
why did-
the Bodo Leak massacre is confirmed. Do you know
Okay,
what that is?
Okay, so why did China get rid of journalists who's against them, like kicked out New York Times, Wall Street Journal? Not just that, even Epoch
Because
Times.
Otto Warmbier peed on his
Epic
picture.
Times? Are you
Why?
kidding me?
Why?
Epic Times is a Falun Gong.
So what I'm saying is you're killing the opposite voices and you're criticizing South Korea for doing the exact same thing. South Korea is completely against communism. You know that, right? So
Right, but what
why
I'm
are they
saying-
why are they so wrong to kick out
No, because
communist people?
because
why are they so
the
wrong? then?
argument is that South Korea is this democratic country. That's the argument you posited. I'm not saying anything.
Do you
about
believe North Korea is democratic? Because it is in their official name, right?
Yes.
Do you believe they are?
I have to research more about how
Come on, they
they're.
always use that line. You know, you have to research
But
more.
I don't believe the narrative about what the West says about.
I
North Korea.
really think, honestly, communism in theory is very attractive for me.
It is attractive when I first heard it too. I'll be honest
It's
with you.
not
But
just
it's not-
attractive in
but it's
theory.
not realistic.
No,
The
but it just-
Soviet Union and China have had the fastest economic growth periods.
Ask all
in
those
human
Russian dancers
history.
in Korea.
In human history, without imperialism, without using exploitation of other countries' resources.
I know a lot.
Why
of,
are they dancing in
I
Korea?
know
Even
that. I know.
without that, they grew faster than the United States at
Okay.
any point in the United States history.
So I know a lot of communists believe that America became like they blocked the spread of communism when communism could have flourished. America and Western deep state were
Yep.
the one who blocked it. And that's why a lot of communists believe that without their interruption, it could have flourished. I don't know about that, to be honest. I don't even like the fact that communism,
what do you mean you don't know about? You don't.
No, no,
you know,
no.
you
But-
know
well,
what,
they're against
you know what
religion.
American,
No, but-
you
They're
know
against
what,
Christianity.
Do you know what America
Aren't-
did in the last parts of Korean War?
Okay, I wanted to actually
Do you know what they
finish
did
this
in the last
subject,
part of
but-
Korean War?
What was that?
They bombed a dam, an irrigation dam, as a one last fuck you to the Korean people to say like you're not going to eat anymore, even though we lost this war.
Anyway, let's. I wanted to change the subject a little bit. Do you go? I know that you're an influencer on Twitter, right?
I'm not really an influencer. I'm just a personality.
Okay. Do you go Reddit?
No.
Do you know
hate Reddit.
AITA? AITA? Am I the asshole?
Oh yeah,
You know that on
yeah.
Reddit. Okay, so we want to talk about a little bit of this to change the subject to soften the mood a little bit. I know we're tired of Israel, Hamas, communism, North Korea. Let's talk deep state.
North
or,
Korea is Palestine, by the way. And
let's
South
kind
Korea is Israel.
let's kind of put that on the side and let's talk about this. Okay. So this is more serious than that actually. Okay. AITA, am I the asshole for not approving of my Korean mother-in-law walking my daughter to school? So I think Douglas,
I know this
you
story.
would be really interested in this.
No, I
John,
know this
you too,
story.
young you too.
I already
Okay.
know this.
So I want to read it for our
Okay.
viewers first, and then we can put our 2 cents there.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So this was originally posted on Ada by Planetary 1029, and it was taken down actually. But okay, I'll read it. This is a 39-year-old male. I have a rambunctious, adorable 6-year-old daughter, Jane. It's not her real name. I am white, but my wife, who is a 39-year-old female, they're both the same age, is Korean Canadian. Last month, my wife's parents flew in to Toronto to visit us. They were overjoyed to see Jane, and they played with her and spent as much time with her as possible creating memories. My parents-in-law spent 2 weeks in Canada, and we all had a good time. We live literally right next to Jane's school. So every now and then, my mother-in-law would walk Jane to school. And each time, my daughter and my mother-in-law would speak to each other in Korean. You know, these things happen, right? And they would bond with each other, which was nice. But to be honest, we live in a somewhat, quote-unquote, white neighborhood. And I figured that the other children would get weirded out by this old foreign woman speaking some language they don't understand. So one day, I suggested to my mother-in-law that rather than walking my daughter to school, she would assist my wife in doing the morning chores, and that I'll walk Jane to school each morning. My mother-in-law and wife both had no problem with this. They just said whatever. Anyway, my wife's parents are now back in Korea once again. A few nights ago, I was lying in bed with my wife in the dark, casually chatting with her, and we started talking about her parents' visit to Toronto and how sweet it was. While we were talking about this, I mentioned that I didn't want to embarrass Jane by having my wife's mother drop her off at school every morning. My wife just froze. And she turned the light on and she asked me if I knew how insulting I sounded. We didn't get into a fight or anything because Jane was fast asleep.
Why?
But we had their daughter was asleep, so that's why they didn't fight, okay? But we had a bitter argument and my wife grabbed her pillow and went downstairs to sleep. If I am the asshole, would my wife also be the asshole for getting way too insulted? This was a question. What do you think, Doug?
What was the reason that he had a problem with it?
You already know what I think.
Wait, the reason that he had a problem with it, what was the reason? Because she was like a maid, or she looks like a maid, or she thought it was Biajima or something?
Oh, no. So I think he said he doesn't want Korean noise coming out because there's a lot of white people, white neighborhood. Okay?
Oh, so he finds Korean...
So probably he was worried that his daughter would get I don't know whether I'm reaching when he said bullied or
what year is this?
Some kind of
they're gonna find out she's
this
not
year.
Canada.
White.
This year, yeah,
Canada.
Canada? Yeah,
they're gonna find
This guy's a
out she's not
freaking
white.
idiot.
So so what's the
Is it Toronto?
Yeah, it's Toronto. So
it wouldn't be Vancouver.
One of the more.
So I think his wife didn't know the reason, and he was just talking, casually saying, I didn't want other kids to hear Korean sound, and then it can be somehow hurtful to his daughter, or somehow some kind of disadvantage.
Nowadays, it's an advantage.
So anyway, this asshole, I think, didn't think that way. But what say you, Doug, about this serious situation?
I feel like I made a tweet about this actually.
You did?
Anyone who is in a WMAF relationship, man or woman.
What's WMAF?
Oh, that's what was it?
Weapons of what?
White
Woman, man.
Oh, white man.
Asian female. White male, Asian female.
Is that
WMAF.
Are you talking about that NBC reporter? Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, but I'm saying anyone who is in a WMAF relationship, man, if you're the man or the woman, and if you post on Reddit asking if you are the asshole, you are the asshole.
By just asking the question first.
If you are if you are in this relationship and you are asking about some sort of dynamic, you are probably the asshole.
I think he is.
He's
and I'm
definitely...
saying that even if you are the Asian woman and you're asking, you are probably the asshole because you got what you paid for.
But she's half Asian.
How do you not know that white men are basically like this?
No, but she's half Asian, right?
But you're making a
know.
blanket
I
statement
think
when you
she's
do
Korean.
that. Do you think all white men are like that?
A lot are.
Oh, you agree with?
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
especially the one with the Asian fetish.
Okay.
I think those guys. I think those guys. They bring him home, and then decide that later on.
Okay.
I'm not saying all white men, but the overwhelming majority who are in those relationships are, have some sort of, what is it?
So do you automatically look down on a white male Asian female couple? You automatically say, because I know some people immediately react
I don't
that
care.
way.
I don't care about it.
And then they would ask,
But I think the white guys that move to Korea, I think they're okay. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those guys. Those guys are pretty okay. Some of them are racist in there as well. But white guys that live in Korea and actually know the culture and get immersed in the culture.
Right?
Look,
most of
personally,
them are.
I don't
But
care.
there's always those
because they're the
guys.
I
minority.
don't care. Do whoever you want. I don't care. But
Just don't marry a Korean woman.
when you
Do
post-
whoever you want. Okay.
do whoever you want. just don't like shit on Asian men when you're doing it. Don't just shit on Korea or China being like, oh, well, our men are more misogynistic than these white men or some bullshit.
It's kind of true, though.
You know, I
No,
kind
it's
of...
not. But
It is true. I live there.
They disagree
I
on
live
this
there.
one. Okay.
How long
not.
have you lived in Korea?
It's not. It's not.
How long have you lived in
It's
Korea?
not.
Okay, so...
33% of the rapes in Seoul are committed by white men who make less than 1%.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Look,
In
look.
Seoul?
Yes.
We're talking about misogyny, all right? Dude,
Yeah.
I've lived there.
What is misogyny?
Okay,
Is
so-
rape not part of misogyny?
okay, so-
rape
so-
is like the most extreme
Okay,
misogyny
so
in
I do
And
see...
I don't think, I'm not sure about that claim, but the fact of the matter is that, yeah, it exists more than you see here.
All right, well, whatever.
Okay, so I got to learn a lot of Asian American issues here living in America because I live majority. I think probably more than no. Now I live more longer in America, but I lived in Korea, so I didn't see this. But I know a lot of people react like you do too, Doug. You know that a lot of white.
No, it's statistical.
that
Even
they
in
look
America,
down on,
for
and
example.
you're saying that Asian girls actually also look down on Asian men
Yes.
because of that culture, the mainstream
Because of
culture.
because
that
of
was
past-
completely new
Yeah.
to me. Is that true, Young?
There's people
I
that
didn't know.
don't. There's people even in Korea, women who don't like their culture and will marry a American
In
or-
Korea, huh?
Yeah, of course. I mean, but there's different people with different opinions everywhere. You know, it's all according to their experiences. So in a way, you just kind of have to accept that and respect it. Like I respect your views. You know?
No, I'm not gonna
Whatever it
respect
is.
because
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to, but I do.
facts on my side, so
So
you know, I
so
have
that
numbers and
would
facts on
come
my
to
side.
conclusion that you're saying that all Asians are like that. Do you think all
No,
Asians
I don't
prefer
think
white
all Asians
white
prefer
white
white. I don't
Asian
think
white
all-
male compared to
I don't
Asian
think
male?
all anything. I don't think all Jews
Okay.
are part of the
All right, all right.
Rothschild.
But majority.
I don't think all Jews are part of the
A huge chunk
I don't
of
even think
number.
all Jews are Zionists.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the
that's a
PWC.
common
They're
misconflation.
not. You know that half of the Jews they're against.
Are we back to the Jews now?
I don't know about half.
No,
but like
I would say half of them are atheist or either agnostic. Man, look at all the people on TV like Bill
no,
Maher and all
the
these
agnostic ones support Israel. Or
I mean, I think Jews
do you
in
know
general.
that Brett
whenever
Ratner,
these issues
do you know about
come
Brett
out,
Ratner?
Huh?
You know about Brett Ratner?
You mean the Hollywood director, right?
Yes.
Who got Me Too'd?
Yes.
Yes.
You know, because he was Me Too'd in America and basically had a lot of legal troubles, he was able to go to Israel and find sanctuary there.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Really?
You look it up.
Is he Jew?
Brett Ratner.
Is
Yes.
he a Jew?
Yes.
I didn't
look
know
it up.
that either.
Brett Ratner.
Brett,
This happened this year.
the Rush Hour director. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So he's now in Israel.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay.
So
but anyway,
what I'm saying though is that a lot of people, Jewish people, sorry to go back to this, but a lot of Jewish people who believe in the Torah believe that they're not even supposed to go to Israel until their Messiah comes back, our
Exactly,
Jesus or
yes.
whatever. They believe that until their Messiah comes back,
Okay, so that's okay.
they're not even supposed to go to
Let
Israel.
me plug it in.
So have you been
So, let
paying
me-
attention to the drug situation in South Korea, which I've been really wanting to talk about?
No,
and,
no.
you guys
I was
friggin'
almost-
keep
I
on
was-
talking about this
I was
Israel
almost
thing. I'm
about
just
to-
like, dude, man.
Okay, so what do you think? So this guy's an asshole for even
Yeah.
thinking this way. How about you, John?
Yeah,
Young?
he's a total racist.
I think he's a racist.
He's a racist.
Yeah.
You know,
but I also think
But can you understand his point of view too? I do.
I understand.
I do.
I understand it's racist.
even though
I
it's racist,
understand
right?
his racism, but he's still racist.
But I've also seen Koreans feel the same way.
I
like being
understand.
ashamed of their own,
I
like-
understand Israeli people being, fearful of Gazans or Palestinians and wanting, but I still think that what
wouldn't
they're doing is wrong.
So it probably can be translated in another way. For instance, if like a Korean lives around in a Chinese community in China or in Japan, they don't want to talk their mother-in-law, if they're Korean, they don't want their mother-in-law to talk with their grandkids in Korean they don't want to be perceived as a foreigner. You understand what I'm saying?
Maybe in
Then it
Japan,
could-
but not less so in China.
Oh, you are so pro-China.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Japan is like specifically
Do you
anti.
know there's so many Koreans living in Japan? If you go to, have you ever been to
and
Japan?
they're a minority.
There's Korean language
The
everywhere.
Zainichi Koreans are
There's Korean language
heavily
everywhere.
Wait,
they're
wait,
heavily
wait.
discriminated
You gotta
against in
understand.
Japan.
He's married to
But anyway, no. You don't need to.
You're talking about the newly like South Korean immigrants. I'm talking about the Zainichi Koreans.
Okay, so you agree that
they've been enslaved in Japan.
I don't think anything's going to happen to G-Dragon and Lee Sung-yun. I don't think anything's going to happen to those guys.
I'm talking about the people who are more
so you're into
patriotic to North Korea.
I know you don't like K-pop, right?
I'm indifferent. I'm more.
So G-Dragon, the situation.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Why?
Because it's like done and over with. It's out of my head. It's like I crapped it out already. It's like stupid now.
G-Dragon, you do know him?
I don't know who he is exactly. I've heard the name.
Doug, why do you not like K-pop? Is it too appeasing to white people? That's why. No,
I like the '90s K-pop, but I think
that's just your age, I think.
Yeah, so I grew out of just K-pop.
90s who?
Why is K-pop something that people grow out of? I see this a lot. I see it all the time.
K-pop is just like, at its core, especially now, especially the corporate whatever, it's just like, it's softcore porn.
No, but
let's be real.
Like with the Lolita complex, right?
Okay, our title today, what do you think?
What?
K-pop is soft porn.
Softcore pornography.
Softcore porn.
Let's put that on our title.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's do
right.
that. Okay?
Especially what's become like Blackpink. Like that is just like becoming
Softcore.
like Americanized softcore pornography.
Okay.
For people with Asian fetishes?
Exactly.
Okay, wait. But why do people grow out of porn? I mean, not porn.
Did you grow out?
A long time ago. It doesn't even work. It doesn't even work.
I feel so bad. Oh, come on.
I mean, no. Why do people?
No, change the title. John
growing
grew
out of porn.
porn.
Hey, why do people grow out of K-pop? That's what I'm saying. Because like most people, I know the fan base. They're usually in high school, and they're usually like kind of goth style or kind of a little bit alternative, right?
Music is
and
synthetic.
they're all into
the music,
J-pop as well as wait, listen.
The music is
manga.
It's all about flash. It's all about style. It's all about what is it? Spectacle. It's not about substance like the music. That's why it doesn't resonate with people who are older because like,
you were saying that it doesn't have depth, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like the reason I like 90s K-pop stuff is because when I see today's K-pop stuff, I'm just like, this is like just everything is so derivative that I've already seen this story before, and I already have my version that I like.
Right.
Why would I, now?
Do you like Korean dramas?
Some.
What did you think about Kisengchung, Parasite? What was your opinion?
Is that a movie?
Parasite.
Oh, it won the Academy Best Picture.
Yeah, that's a movie.
Yeah.
I thought you said drama.
We were talking about dramas. We just skipped.
Movie.
Yeah, but that was 5 years ago.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know your opinion about it as a communist point of view.
Yeah, I liked it.
What do you think about so many of like Korean show programs and Korean TV shows making it onto Netflix, and now it's like kind of like, it's like, dude, I have like my customers calling me about Korean dramas.
I
saw this and it was so good.
So I have black neighbors, and they are so into K-drama.
Yeah,
they are so into it. I was amazed. You know, and they said it's so interesting. They said it's the same.
Black folks are very similar in our culture.
That's what they said. I have
one of my friends. He's like saying, "Dude, you know what? Your daughter has a boyfriend. My daughter gotta have permission to have a boyfriend."
Yeah, so I have
very conservative.
Yeah, so I have an African American neighbor who I would talk regularly, and he said, my wife is completely into.
I mean, I think it's part of it is American imperialism trying to control the narrative of South Korea. No, I'm being serious. Like, it's seeing that a lot of its media in Hollywood. Hollywood has gone.
I'm not laughing at you, but it's just American imperialism. I keep thinking about Darth Vader. I'm just like Darth Vader.
You should. That is American imperialism. Darth Vader, the Death Star, blowing up Alderaan.
Let's make it.
That's about like bombing campaigns in Vietnam.
Let's make it specific. Is the United States government Darth Vader or Palpatine? I want to, because there's Palpatine too. I want to make a clear.
So can it be good?
Because to me it's different. Because Darth Vader came back to the light side.
Yeah, after he destroyed everything.
That is true, though.
I mean, it's like what's been done is done.
So you're saying that Darth Vader and Palpatine, they're the same,
Dude.
Maybe Darth Vader is Israel, and Palpatine is America.
Did you listen to who did you listen to? Tateji or the K-pop?
HOT, GOD, like people like that back then.
All right. Okay.
Brown Eyes.
Oh, they were good. They were good.
When you look at but I do think that he has some point. When I watched Hwasa, do you know Hwasa from Mamamoo? And she was really, she was touching her.
Mamamoo 사장 was.
She was touching her P.
Uh-oh.
P?
Softcore pornography.
Yeah, it is.
She was touching her P?
V.
P word.
P?
P word.
V.
V.
A V. V word. Is V better? You can say
You're
V
so
or
vulgar.
P.
You're actually very proper.
No, I was
He's
trying
the
to-
vulgar one. He says P, you say
Well,
V.
you never grow out of pornography, so.
Yeah, so you're still behind, okay? And you grab him by the. I thought it was P, not V. So,
No, grab by the.
No, that's-
Okay.
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but
So
normally you refer to it as V.
Okay, sorry.
Okay?
I stand
everyone,
corrected.
have a
I
very
stand
good
corrected.
day. That's what V stands for.
I stand corrected.
Very good, okay? Thank you for joining us today, man.
Hey,
It's been
Doug,
fun. It's
yeah,
always fun.
let's make it a regular. Can you come back next week?
Next week.
I'm going to be in New York, but I will let you know the next time I'm back.
All right, okay.
All right, we'll see you, my
Always
man.
glad to
my
have a
favorite
communist here, yeah. Thank you, Doug. Okay. Douglas.
Reject the ideology, respect the boy or the man. All right, thank
We
you
love
very
it.
much for joining us today.
Okay, thank you.